This is day 7 of the 30 Days of Faves. Hi, I'm the Shelf Reliance Mom, and I'm here to help you get more out of your home store. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me or leave comments below on my blog at any time. It's www.ShelfRelianceMom.blogspot.com. I chose the Kitchen Mill electric wheat grinder today because I absolutely love this product. I actually learned about it before I was even a Shelf Reliance consultant. I had a friend who would allow me to use hers, and I would borrow hers every couple of months to grind up wheat of my own. And then I learned that Shelf Reliance sold it, and not only that they sold it, but that I could earn it for half price or even free depending on how much of or how big of a party I had. And so I jumped at that, and I collected enough online orders to earn this for free. So if you are interested in learning how to do that, go ahead and email me at tipstreasures@gmail.com, and I'd love to tell you how. So for people who are new to wheat, I'd like to go into a little detail about what that's about first before I show you the wheat grinder itself. So this is what white wheat kernels look like before you grind it. A lot of people don't know this, but white flour and wheat flour, you can kind of see the color difference from here, come from the exact same seed kernel. White flour is just wheat with all of the nutrients taken out. So a lot of big companies love the white flour because it makes it so cheap to make things for consumers. So don't be fooled whenever they say enriched with this vitamin or that vitamin, because honestly the only way that you can get all of the nutrients out of flour is to have wheat flour. And that's not to bash on white flour. There are some appropriate things for it, but make sure that you try to use some wheat flour in your cooking. So for those of you who already use wheat flour and you're thinking, well, what are the merits of having wheat kernels and a wheat grinder? I find it really helpful for me in my home store. So as you know, Shelf Reliance sells a lot of freeze-dried products which last 20 to 30 years. And for those of you who are used to using wheat flour, you know that once you open the bag, you need to store it in your fridge so it doesn't go rancid. So if you're not storing it in your fridge, make sure you start doing that. Otherwise, it only lasts up to 5 years if it's sealed in a can. The great thing about wheat is it lasts for over 30 years if it's sealed in a can, because the oils don't get released until it's ground up into flour. So if you are building a home store, it's really nice to be able to have a grinder and wheat, because you're not having to worry about rotating that as frequently. And so I really like that about it. I use my wheat flour in my bread, and I posted my bread recipe that I have right here that I tape since I use it so often. I have that posted on my blog, so you can look that up. You don't need to run to the store and buy a brand new bread maker. There are tons that happen to show up in Goodwill or Savers or DI's, whatever your used store is locally. Check there first, because a lot of people buy these and then end up not using them as often because they forget about them. So go ahead and take a price out of that tag by getting it used. I do the 2-pound loaf, so I wrote directions on there for the 2-pound, 1.5, and the 1 loaf. I do the 2-pound loaf, and after we slice it this way, as you can see, we also slice it this way, and then we just use the 1 slice to do the sandwich. And the reason why I like doing that is I could easily just do the 1-pound loaf and do it 2 times, but I figure it saves me time because I can just do the 2-pound loaf once and not have to worry about cooking it quite so often. So that's why I like it. I put on the post about how it's important to have gluten and dough enhancer in your bread. As you can see, it's nice and fluffy, just like regular bread from the store. A lot of people complain that when they use wheat flour or when they use a bread maker that their bread comes out really dense. But when you use gluten and dough enhancer, it helps keep those air pockets in your bread, and it also helps preserve your bread with natural preservatives, not having to use the preservatives that aren't as good for your body that typically bread has when you buy it from the store. And I also put a link on there for another website that talks about the differences in gluten and dough enhancer, so you can check that out. So now for the lovely wheat grinder. As you can see, there isn't a big hopper that you have to worry about spilling over. I know people who have wheat grinders with hoppers and they fill their wheat in and then it tips over and they have wheat kernels spill all over their kitchen. And as you can imagine, it makes quite the mess, especially if you have a little 9-month-old who likes to stick everything in her mouth. Then you really have to worry about it. So I love that I don't have to worry about it tipping over. It also has this great little turner that allows you to choose how fine you want it. So you can have it super fine, or I even have it go to the less fine because it grinds so quickly, and it still is so perfect for bread and cookies and pancakes and waffles, French toast, whatever it is that you're making with your wheat. It's perfect. So I will start posting recipes there for you so that way you will know how to get started. As you can see, it's really quick. Here's the on-off switch. Supposed to stop it midway. Another thing that I really love about this wheat grinder is it has this little thing that collects the flour so it's not spilling out into the air so much like a lot of wheat grinders do. And the cleanup is a breeze. A lot of wheat grinders you have to take apart and wipe them down really well because the oils mess up the blades, but this one doesn't require that. So I like quick stops for my cleanup. I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them either on the blog or email me and let me know if there's something you'd like me to post about. I will try to post in a later blog about the difference between the white wheat kernels, which you see here, and the red wheat kernels. And if there's anything else you need, let me know. Thanks. Bye.